Okay, welcome back everybody. Hopefully we'll be able to finish up part 2 of notes during this video key session right now. I know we finished up the last video rather abruptly, finishing up that cylinder there. So I just want to just touch base with you, kind of what we did to work through that problem. Remember, all of this is about starting with identifying the base and drawing it, and then figuring out the perimeter of that base and the area of that base. And then we use those things, so that's P and B, to figure out lateral area and finally surface area. So all of this is like a process, and we got to take it step by step. So in a cylinder has a circle base, right? And a circle base, or a circle, has a perimeter, which we also call circumference, and that's pi times diameter. And so when we plugged in our diameter, which was 3, we got 9.4 for perimeter. And then area of a circle is going to be pi r squared. So our radius is half of our diameter, so radius is only 1.5. We plugged that into pi r squared, and we got that the area of the base was 7.1. And then for lateral area, remember we just take the perimeter of the base times the height of our object. So the perimeter was 9.4, and the height was this 9 over here. Remember, the height is always the distance between the sides of the walls that connect your bases. So that's this 9 right here is connecting circle base on top and circle base on bottom. So that's the height. And so our lateral area is just our perimeter times that height, 84.8. And then for surface area, that's where we take our lateral area, so that 84.8, and we add to it 2 times our area of our base. And so that was the 7.1. And when we do that, we get 99.0. So let's repeat this process one more time. But this time, this looks like a box. We call boxes rectangular prisms. Remember, they are always named after the shape on their base. And so a rectangular prism has a base of a rectangle. So let's consider the base, this bottom rectangle here. If I draw this rectangle, that rectangle would be 10 and 5. And we know in a rectangle, opposite sides are always the same. And so if the bottom's 10, top's 10. If the right's 5, left is 5, which is awesome for the perimeter, because perimeter, we just add all those together. So 10 plus 5 plus 10 plus 5. When we add all of that, we should be getting 30 inches as our perimeter. So we'll use that to find lateral area in a second. But we also have to find area of the base. Area of a rectangle is just base times height. So we'll consider our base 10, consider the height 5. And so area of this rectangular base, 10 times 5, which is 50 inches squared. And remember, we'll bring that in when we want to find surface area in a second. So for lateral area, just one more time, that's perimeter times height. And so we just calculated our perimeter of our base to be 30. And so it'll be 30 times the height of our rectangular prism. So remember, let's look over at our prism over here again for one sec. We're considering the bottom one of our bases, which means the top is the other base. And so remember, this height over here is the distance of the walls that connect our bases. So our 6 is going up and down here is the distance that's connecting our bottom base to our top base. So that's the height we're going to use. We're going to do 30 times 6. And that is going to give us 180 inches squared. And that's our lateral area. And then remember, for surface area, it is our lateral area plus 2 times our big B. Remember, our big B is what we just found over here, which is 50. And remember, our lateral area is something we just found as well. So for our surface area, it's going to be 180 plus 2, and then times 50. 2 times 50, obviously, is just 100. 180 plus 100 is 280 inches squared for the surface area. All right, beautiful. So those are the main shapes we're going to work with in this unit. Triangular prisms, cylinders, and rectangular prisms. Now, it won't always be a prism. We'll introduce tomorrow pyramids, but again, the bases are going to be consistent. So a triangular one, a circle one, a rectangle one. And so get used to that, and we'll do a lot of work with these. All right, 2 more problems left. This time we're going to work backwards. Notice, in this cylinder, we know the radius, 6.5, and we know the overall surface area. What we do not know is the height of this shape, and that's what it tells us to find the height, right? Now, remember, surface area, so surface area is going to equal our lateral area plus 2 times the area of our base, right? So we're going to have to do a little bit of work here. So a couple things here. Number one, remember lateral area also has its own kind of formula. Lateral area is perimeter times height. So first, we can rewrite this surface area equation as surface area equals perimeter times height plus 2b. Now, we can figure out perimeter. This is the h that we want to solve for. And we can also figure out big B. So let's do that on the side over here. Remember, perimeter, it's perimeter of our base, right? And our base is a circle. And the radius is 6.5. So R is 6.5, and diameter would be twice as big, which is 13, right? And so perimeter is, again, the distance around our base. For a circle, we also call that circumference, and that is just pi times diameter. And so pi times diameter would be pi times 13, which if you throw pi times 13 into your calculator, just go straight to the decimal, we will get 40.8. And then remember, big B is area of our base. So area of a circle is pi r squared. And so we know r, so pi times 6.5 squared. And when we type that into our calculator, we should get 132.7. And that's huge here because now we have to solve, again, remember, we're solving for this h here. And now we can plug in other numbers that will allow us to do that. First of all, we know our surface area. This is the SA, right? And so we're going to plug that in for the SA part. So 592.19 equals, and now perimeter, which we just found, is over here. So 40.8 times our height, which is what we want to find, and then plus 2 times big B, right? And big B we just found over here is 132.7. All right, so let's clean this up a little bit. We still have 592.19 on the left. We still have 40.8 times h, and then plus, and 2 times 132.7 is going to be roughly 265.5. And now we just want to get h by itself, so we have to do some algebra here. So we're going to start by subtracting 265.5 from both sides. That'll take this away. And so that'll equal 40.8h. And 592.19 minus 265.5 is going to be 326.7 roughly. 326.7. And now the last step, again, we want to get h by itself, right? H, the height, we want to get h by itself. So we got to divide both sides by 40.8. Divide both sides by 40.8. And that'll leave us with h over here. And h will be whatever 326.7 divided by 40.8 is. And it actually ends up being roughly exactly 8 centimeters. And so that's our answer. All right, got about 6 more minutes to do this last problem. It's the same deal. This x is actually going to be our h for the height of the prism. We know that because this is the rectangular wall that is connecting our 2 triangle bases, right? This is a triangular prism. And so, remember, surface area is going to be lateral area plus 2 times the area of the base. And just like in the last problem, remember our lateral area equals perimeter times height. And so we can rewrite this. Surface area is going to be perimeter times height plus 2 times big B. And we still want h, right? That's what we're looking for. So we want to solve for h. And we can figure out P and B. First, we know P here, because if you look at this base, our triangle base, right, we know one side's 10, but all those tick marks tell us that the others are 10. And so our perimeter is just 10 plus 10 plus 10, which is 30. Now, big B is the area of the base, right? And so I'm going to draw that over here. And so that's 10. Now, remember, we need so big B is area of the base. For a triangle, that's going to be base times height divided by 2. And we know our base, which is 10. Remember, our height is this distance. And you might think we don't know that, but if you come back over to our picture over here, on the back side, they actually give us that height. So H is just 8.7 this time. And so we don't actually have to do any work to find the area of this triangular base in this one. They've actually given us that info. And so big B is going to be base, which is 10. That's the base of our triangle, times the height of our triangle, which was told to us as 8.7, and then divided by 2. And 10 times 8.7 divided by 2 is going to be 43.5. So here's big B, 43.5. Here's P, which is 30. And so now we can plug P in for P, B in for B. And then remember, they tell us surface area up here, 447. So we'll plug that in for the SA part. So 447 equals P, which is 30, times H still, plus 2 times 43.5, which is B. Now, let's solve that by doing the same thing as before. 447 still equals 30H, but 2 times 43.5 is going to be 87. And then we got to get H by itself. So let's subtract 87 from both sides to start. 447 minus 87 is 360, and that equals 30 times our height. So then to finish it off, we'll just divide both sides by 30. And we get that H equals whatever 360 divided by 30 is, and that is exactly 12 meters in this problem. So the height of that triangular prism had to be 12 meters. And this problem and the last problem, we just get by understanding the formula and working backwards. Plug in the things we know, solve for the thing we do not know. And so I think those are two good problems to walk you through that. You absolutely may still have questions. Please pop into the Google Hangouts and ask me, or go ahead and send me an email, whatever you're most comfortable with, and I would love to talk to you and help you out here. Definitely, let's go ahead and practice the Part 2 worksheet. And then there will be a review of that worksheet tomorrow to keep kind of just supporting your understanding and your developing understanding of surface area of prisms and cylinders. So keep up the great work, everybody. Thank you very much for your time. Have a great day. I'll talk to you soon.